Hello friends, welcome to Shiksharthi. In this video, we'll be solving questions from exercise 4.4 on quadratic equations. So let's start. Talking about question number 1, it says, find the nature of the roots of the following quadratic equations. If the real roots exist, then find them. So this question 1 is divided into 3 parts. Part 1, 2 and 3, in which you have to first find out the nature of the roots, and then if the roots are real, then you have to find out the roots as well. So this would be the point of reference for us. We'll be using this piece of information, or all these pieces of information is what we are going to use. So as we had been doing earlier, we will just identify the values of the coefficients which are a, b, c. So a in this case is 2, minus b is equal to 3, and c is equal to a 5, right? After this, I need to find out the value of delta if I want to find out the nature. So delta is b square minus 4ac, which in this case comes out to be b square 9 minus 4ac. So 4 into 5 is 20, 20 into 2 is 40. So delta comes out to be minus 31. So delta is negative. So you will say what? No real roots or no zeros. Let's move on to the second sub part. So in this case, the value of a here is 3, the value of minus b here is 4 root 3, and the value of c here is 4. Let us find out the value of delta, which is b square minus 4ac. So which in this case is b is minus 4 root 3. So b square becomes 4 into 4 is 16 into 3, 48 minus 4ac. 4 into 4 is 16 into 3, 48. So delta is equal to a 0. So delta equals 0 means what? Real roots, and not only real roots, real unequal roots. Can I say real unequal roots? No. It has to be real equal roots, because whenever delta is equal to a 0, you are not only getting real roots, you are getting real equal roots. Okay. So in that case, both the roots become equal to each other, as we discussed a few seconds back, and the value of the real roots would be minus b by 2a. You do not need the value of delta, because delta itself is equal to a 0. So in that case, what is the value of minus b? 4 root 3. This. So can we say further that this is nothing but 2 root 3 by 3? There are many ways of writing this. Either I leave it as it is, or I can say that this finally is 2 root 3. So both the roots are equal to a 2 root 3 divided by 3. Let's check it once again. Minus b upon 2a. So minus b is 4 root 3 upon 2a, which is 6. So this becomes 2/3 of root 3. Okay, in this case, the third subpart, these are the values of the coefficients of various powers of x. Delta is equal to a b square minus 4ac, which is just like saying 36 minus, how much is 4 into 3? 12. How much is 12 into 2? 24. So delta comes out to be positive. Delta positive means what? Real unequal roots. Let's check it again. Delta square, which is a 36 minus 4ac. So 4 into 3 is a 12, 12 into 2 is a 24, 36 minus 24 is equal to a 12, which is positive, and whenever delta is positive, you would get real roots, that is for sure, but you will get real unequal roots. Now let us find out the value of roots. We know alpha is equal to minus b minus root delta upon 2a. Okay. Now when you are, and beta in any case here is minus b plus root delta upon 2a. Now in the first case, you will say 6 minus root 12 upon 4, and in the second case 6 plus root 12 upon 4. Now this is just like saying 2 square into a 3, so a 2 comes out. So you will be able to say that this is 6 minus 2 root 3 upon a 4, and this is equal to 6 plus 2 root 3 upon a 4. So you can cancel it out with a 2. In that case, the final value of alpha will be 3 minus root 3 upon a 2, and the value of beta here will be 3 plus root 3 upon a 2. So the point to be learnt here is, since delta is not a perfect square and delta is greater than 0, so delta is greater than 0 but not a perfect square, so the answer is you are getting real roots, that is for sure, unequal roots, that is also for sure, but the roots, since delta is not a perfect square, will be irrational roots. And we know that numbers written under the roof of a root are irrational. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 2. Talking about question number 2, it says find the values of k for each of the following quadratic equations so that they have two equal roots. Okay, we know what is the condition for two equal roots. The condition for two equal roots is that the value of the discriminant, which is delta, should be equal to a 0. Okay, so this is the first equation. So in this case, the value of a here is 2, the value of b here is k, and the value of c here is 3. So delta comes out to be, now this is b square minus 4ac, so which is just like saying k square minus 4 into 3, which is 12, 12 into 2 is 24. Now this is already given to you as a 0. So what are we saying? We are getting a quadratic equation in terms of k, wherein k square minus 24 is equal to a 0. So can I say that k is just like saying plus root 24 or minus root 24? This is using the concept of alpha only. So alpha is, now you already have the discriminant equal to a 0, right? So in that case you have two equal roots and the value of k comes out to be, so you have two equal roots which you could have substituted. Okay, now when we get this, there are two values of k that we are getting from here. We need to substitute it and see that will we get this in any case or not. So let us say if I substitute the value of k as root 24, in that case b square becomes how much? 24 minus 4ac, which is equal to a 0. And if I substitute minus root 24 also, in that case also b square, which becomes 24 only, minus 4 into 3 into 20. So you are getting two values of k. Okay, talking about the second equation. So now if I rewrite this equation, this is kx square minus 2kx plus 6 is equal to a 0. So the value of a here is k, the value of minus b here is 2k, and the value of c here is 6. So what is the value of delta? Delta is nothing but b square minus 4ac, which can be written as 4k square. Okay, b square, which is 4k square minus 4ac, which is 24k. Now this is already given to you as a 0, right? So taking only this piece of information, now you already had a quadratic equation, but the moment you started solving for delta and the value of delta was already given to you as a 0, you are again getting a quadratic equation in terms of another variable, and here the variable is k. So can I rewrite this equation as this is 4k into k minus 6 equal to a 0? So now you are getting the product of 2 equal to a 0, which is just like saying either 4k is equal to a 0 or k minus 6 is equal to a 0. So if you recall my earlier videos wherein we have already talked about a cross b is equal to a 0, let's say this is capital A and this is capital B. So a cross b is equal to a 0 only when one of them at a time is equal to a 0. So once you get 4k is equal to a 0, in that case this will be non-zero, and when you are taking k minus 6 equal to a 0, in that case 4k will not be equal to a 0. So you are getting two values of k from here. Now if I substitute these values in the equation here, so this is just like saying 0 minus 0, so you are getting this value is valid because you should get an identity, 0 is equal to a 0. Now when I substitute k is equal to 6, now k square is how much? 36. 36 into 4 is 144. So 144 minus 24 into 6, which again is a 144. So you get 0 is equal to a 0. So both the values are valid. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 3. In question number 3, it says, is it possible to design a rectangular mango grove whose length is twice its breadth? Okay, we are talking about a rectangle and they are saying, is it possible to, let's say, construct such a rectangle wherein length and the breadth is B. Okay, and the area is given to you as 800 meter. If yes, the length and breadth, is it possible to design a rectangular mango grove whose length is twice its breadth? Area is 800 meters square. If so, find its length and breadth. Okay, now the area here, area of a rectangle is nothing but length into breadth, which is given as 800 meters square. So now in this case, the area comes out to be a 2b square, which is given to you as 800. So can I say the value of b square here comes out to be how much? 400. So the value of b, now b square is equal to a 400 means what? B is under root of, so you will say b is either plus under root of 400 or minus under root of 400, which is just like saying plus 20. Now you can substitute the unit here, meters, or minus 20 meters, or you can just use the units as you go along. Now you know that the measure can never be negative, as we have been talking about in earlier videos also. So in this case, the breadth comes out to be 20 meters. Now when the breadth comes out to be 20 meters, in that case, the length comes out to be 40 meters. Right? So we have found out the length and the breadth as well. Let's move on to the next question. So I'll read out question number 4 to you. Is the following situation possible? If so, determine their present ages. The sum of the ages of two friends is 20 years. Okay. So let us say one of the friends is F1 and the other friend is F2, and the sum of their ages is, as on date, is 20 years. Right? Next, it's years ago. So 4 years ago, this friend would have been 4 years younger, and even this friend would have been 4 years younger. So 4 years ago, the product of their ages was equal to how much? 48 years. So the product of their ages was 48. Okay. Is this situation possible or not? So in that case, let us form an equation now. So let us say now, what will I say? F1 is 20 minus F2. So 20 minus F2 minus 4 into F2 minus 4 is equal to a 48, which is just like saying 16 minus F2 into F2 minus 4 is equal to 48. Now, and just for the sake of, facilitation, let F2 be equal to x, so that you are able to form a quadratic equation in a variable x. It becomes easier for you to understand. So can I say this can be written as 16x minus 64 minus x square plus 4x is equal to a 48, right? And then doing the needful. So what is the needful? X square going on the other hand side, this becomes 20x. On the other hand side, it becomes minus 20x. Plus, now this goes on the other hand side, so this becomes 112. Okay, let's see whether we did it correctly or not. So let's say F1 plus X is equal to 20, and now 4 years ago the product of their ages was given to you as 48, correct? And the summation of their today's age, which is addition of their today's age, is given to you as 20 years. Okay, so now 20 minus x minus 4 is just like saying 16 minus x into x minus 4, so which becomes 16x minus 64 minus x square plus 4x is equal to a 48. So this goes on the other hand side, x square. So 16x plus 4x becomes 20x. On the other hand side, it becomes minus 2x, and minus 64, when it goes on the other hand side, it becomes plus 64. So in this case, now the value of A here is 1, the value of B here is, let's say minus B is equal to 20, and the value of C here is 112. Let's get the value of delta from here. So delta is equal to a B square minus 4AC, which in this case is 400 minus 4AC, which is 448, which becomes negative. Since delta is negative, that means no real roots. That means this situation is not possible. Hope you understood this question. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 5 talks about, is it possible to design a rectangular park of perimeter 80 meters and an area of 400 meters? If so, find its length and breadth. So we did a similar kind of a question, which was question number 3, in which, this question is slightly different because there it was only one side. It was only talking about the length and breadth along with the area. Here they are talking about the perimeter along with their area, and they are asking to find out the length and breadth. Okay, let's take the length and the breadth of this rectangle as L and B. So what is the perimeter? So perimeter of a rectangle is twice of L plus B. Perimeter is nothing but the sum of all the lengths of the sides. The sum of all the measures of the sides. So which is nothing but this. This is given to you as 80 meters. So in few minutes you would see that this gets converted into question number 4. Okay, and then they are talking about the area. So area is nothing but length into breadth, which is given to you as 800 meters square. It's 400 meters square. Okay, so from here can I say L plus B is equal to a 40 meter and L into B is equal to a 400 meters square. So apparently what I can see from here, before I go ahead with the question, now 400 square is just like saying 20 into 20. So in that case this also becomes 20 plus 20, but when I do this, basically what does it become? It contradicts, because 20 into 20 is what we are talking about. We are talking about a rectangle, but here when I say 20 into 20 it becomes a square. So might as well now solve this. Okay, so now can I say that L plus, how much is the value of, so let's say this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So from equation 2 I can substitute the value of B. So B, this is just like saying 400 by L is equal to a 40. So make this a quadratic equation now, which is just, so assuming that L is not equal to a 0, which it will not be because we have a rectangle. So we will say that L square minus 40L plus 400 is equal to a 0, right? Now talking about the coefficients, so A is equal to 1 minus B is equal to a 40 and C is equal to a 400 in this case. Let us quickly find out the value of delta. So the value of delta here is B square minus 4AC. How much is B square? 160 minus 4AC. This comes out to be negative. Negative means no real solution. No real solution means such a rectangle is, no real roots or no real solution. Means what? Such a rectangle cannot be formed. But let us check our solution once again. So twice of L plus B was given to you as 80 meters and the area was given to you as 400 meters. So L plus B comes out to be 40. L into B is 400. Now from second equation, if I get the value of B from here, I can substitute it here, which is just like saying L plus 400 by L is equal to 40. Okay. Now make a quadratic equation given that the leading coefficient cannot be, L cannot be equal to a 0. So L square plus 400 is equal to a 40L, which is just like saying L square minus 40L plus 400 is equal to a 0. So the coefficient A is 1, minus B is 40 and C is equal to a 400. Delta is equal to a B square minus 4AC, which in this case B square becomes how much? Why did we take it as 160? We should have taken it as a 1600, which is why when we are solving the questions we need to be very, very attentive. So in any case we get the value of and that was the objective of checking the question once again. So a 40 square is a 1600 minus 4ac, so delta is equal to 0 means what? You'll be getting two equal roots, and both the equal roots would be how much? Minus b by 2a, so minus b by 2 is just like saying 20. Now despite the fact that you are getting equal roots, but you are getting both the values as 20, so it contradicts the basic information given in the question, because no doubt that you are getting a real solution from here. After getting a real solution or real roots from here, you will not say that it is possible, because then you need to see how much truthful the information here is. So despite the fact we got the values, but these values, they fit to make it a square, not a rectangle. And it says, is it possible to design a rectangular park? No, it is not, because it is only a square plot which can be formed out of these dimensions. If you feel that these solutions help you comprehensively to find out a correct and a complete solution, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. If you have already done so, click on the bell icon and select all so that you receive regular updates from us. If you want us to do videos on some specific or difficult topics, put it in the comment section so that we can do it for you. Thank you so much. Until next we meet, goodbye.